Hey guys, it's a new season, a new map. I figured I'd have a go at a tier list. Okay, now I know it's a little early to be doing a tier list. This is more of a prediction of where things are going to go and kind of my first impressions, my opinions on where everything sits right now, and we'll just see how it lines up. Venusaur, I think, sits around in the middle. I think it's fairly strong. Petal Dance is really strong, and Solar Beam is still really strong. With the blue buff, Solar Beam is, I believe, a 3-second cooldown at level 13, which is genuinely pretty powerful and something to fear in the Rayquaza fight for sure. Gengar. Gengar in like fives is like here, but Gengar, like actual Gengar, is probably about, yeah, I feel like I'd put it here as well. Gengar in like solo queue games and duo queue games, I feel like you can really pop off with this mon. There's so much farm that you can just get online so quickly, and you can make really, really big plays around the Unite. And that's the thing, you have your Unites up so frequently on this map if you play it properly. We all know this is going up here, right? So Mr. Mime recently got buffed in the new update, and then it got nerfed just recently with the heal nerf, and that is not enough. Mr. Mime is still incredibly, unbelievably broken. The best Pokemon in the game, most likely, well, one of them. And to see Mime go from a character that was a high skill cap to now one that anyone can pick up and play is interesting. There's a lot of Mime picks now compared to what we used to see. Snorlax, I think, is actually really solid on this map. I think I'd put him here. So Snorlax in lane has really good secure. It can really get those bottoming DDs. And it's really good at playing around defense and offense. When you want to push a goal, we don't have Zapdos to instant score. Pushing with your team after Rayquaza with a Snorlax is, it's just so much easier. And also defending against Rayquaza with a Snorlax is incredibly strong. So I would say Snorlax is definitely, to me, an A tier. This map feels weird to play this Pokemon on. There are a lot of walls you can hide behind. You get a lot of farm. You come online really early if you're jungling, but invading is so punishing on this new map. So it's so hard to get that rolls online if your enemies know what they're doing. I think I'm gonna put it down here. I think Gardevoir right now, like I think if it comes online later in the game, it's quite powerful, but there's just so much that can stop it. Invading can shut you down early, and it's so diveable, and there's so much open space, and these fights really spread out a lot more. So I don't think it's that good right now. I could be wrong here. You Gardevoirs, let me know in the comment section if you disagree with me. Absol. I think this Pokemon right now is so strong on the new map. Absol on the new map, the amount of farm you can get with a snowbally early game character like this, it's crazy. You can't fall behind if you're playing right, and that was the thing that held Absol back. And now this mon just, you come out and you're like level 6 when you get to lane, so not even just 5, 6, and you just apply pressure and you keep that pressure on, and it's a really powerful mon. I think Absol has definitely stepped up on this new map and is in a stronger place. Right now. Garchomp. Garchomp. You're better than you used to be, buddy. There's so much farm, right? So you can actually hyper carry. Like Garchomp is going to be Garchomp. There's not going to be a stuck Gible, but I feel like I need to give it the same thing as Gardevoir, right? Where it can be shut down early. I think a really good Garchomp is starting to sit up here now. The mon's probably a bit better on this map because of the amount of farm. But I would say it's likely just here for the moment, just because you can really shut this mon down, and it's really too early to tell if when I pick Garchomp, I'm winning a game because I'm very good at the game or because no one knows how to play the map yet. So it's really early stages, and we're kind of making predictions. And I feel like if I was playing against a Garchomp, I would find a way to shut it down. This mon got stronger on this new map because invades are strong, and Lucario is a great invader, and E-Speed Lucario at the top Natus is something that you don't want to be against. It's quite scary. It's a little bit scary. Playing it myself, you're able to make crazy outplays, and I think this mon has gotten stronger. E-Speed around this map with so many things to reset off is definitely something to be feared. I think Lucario is just, it's Lucario. It's never going to be bad. It's never going to be a bad Pokemon. I really like Crustle. I'll put it in the middle of the pack here. So I think the split pushing strats with Crustle are pretty strong. But I also think the amount of farm you can get with Crustle you can stay relevant level on tanks now. You stay relevant level on tanks. What that means is that you're going to be 13 on your tanks if you're playing the map properly and not falling too far behind. So you're going to have that X as a plus. You're going to be able to do big damage as well as crowd control the enemy team really well. Rock Tomb, really great in this map. There's a lot of really small funnels that you can use it in. Shell Smash, great for getting around the bigger map. I think Crustle is quite a decent Pokemon at the moment because the game is played very, very differently. It's not played how it was before. And I think we're going to see some pretty big shifts in the mons. And I think Crustle is something that's definitely decent to play and pick up in your games. I haven't lost a game with it this season. If that counts for something, I'll say it's not too bad. Greninja. I think the same thing as Lucario, right? There's so many things to reset off. If you catch someone out in, say, the Natus, someone in the mid Altarias, getting those surf resets, you're really, really going to just do a lot. And I think if you have a Greninja in your jungle and a Lucario in your top lane, and they both pull in for the central Altarias 8 minutes, I don't think there's much that can stop that combination, because you're going to be E-speeding around and surf resetting, and it's just, they're going to be yours. And I think the snowball potential of these Pokemon is quite large, plus having the surf and the pop secure, if that's the route they chose to go, then that's really, really useful on the new map as well, where objectives are very, very vital. Talonflame. You got better, Talonflame. You got better. I'm going to put it here. I don't think it's quite like the best mon in the world, but I definitely think it's a lot better on this map. In the hands of a good Talonflame, I would put it up here. I would. But in like your generic solo queue, EXP share Talonflame with Assault Vest, this is probably around the middle of the pack. And I think the mon is pretty strong. Its mobility allows it to truly get around the map. It's a lot better than it was, and I'm glad to see Talon get better in a way that isn't it one-shotting everybody, because that's how they always have to buff speedsters, right? They have to make them one-shot. And I think Talon is just, it plays this map really well, and this map is really good for Talon. So I'm happy to see Talon feel a little better. This thing, I'm not gonna lie, this Charizard on the new map is crazy. And not even just on the new map, right? The Unite changes. So they changed the Unite moves on how a lot of the Unites work in this game. Charizard's speed in his Unite, it feels like you're just zooming. It feels like you are zooming and no one can escape you. And the walls are what people rely on to kind of be safe on this map, and Charizard just flies right over them. And I honestly think that this mon, especially since there's so much farm in the jungle, having blue buff on your Fire Blast and your Flamethrower so they're on lower cooldown, getting your Unite up so frequently, and that's same for ones like Greninja and Talon as well, like getting your Unite up so frequently because of all the farm, oh, it's just terrifying. It's a threat. Plus pushing goals, which is important this season, with a Charizard is very strong. Getting that Unite off and just pushing a goal is very powerful. Zeraora. I'm actually going to put it around here. So the thing about Zeraora is it's always had a good early game. It's always had a good early game in the sense of like it can compete, right? It doesn't need to evolve. Its level 4 is pretty strong. It's always the early gank. Its level 14 has always been so incredibly scary, but so hard to get. You can consistently get level 14 on this map on Zeraora. It's not a struggle. It's not something you're fighting to do. It's something that will just happen. And I think that makes Zera a lot better. I think we may start to see Zera climb up the tiers, but I think for right now, Zera is definitely in a very good spot. This map with all of the farm is healthy for it. And a lot of your carry mons are a lot better than they used to be. I don't think these two, like, don't write them off because they're in C tier. It doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that I don't think they're quite as good as these mons at the moment, which aren't quite as good as these mons, right? If I had more tiers, these would be a little higher up. But I think that with the tiers I'm playing with, I definitely think that Zera sits like roughly there in the middle of the pack and is really, really solid. Cinderace. Cinderace is just, I don't think there's ever been a time Cinderace hasn't been like decent, right? And I've been playing, I was playing with Challenge a lot on like release day and even in some stacks the other day, and the man just plays Cinderace all day. And I'll tell you this, like Cinderace is definitely still a very strong Pokemon. It gets its farm very quickly. The new red buff, why? Why did they buff red buff? I'm not quite sure, but I think Cinderace is much stronger with the new red buff, and that's scary. So I definitely think this is a good mon. You get your Unite a few more times a game, at least one more time a game, right? Because Cinder's thing was you had a really long Unite charge. But with the new farming, you can definitely get more off. And I think Cinder is definitely quite the threat. It's interesting that this map, to me, has brought a lot of the mons more centralized. And I think that's really good. I think map design can really change the way a game is played. It can really change the meta of a game. And I think that has been accomplished with this map. And I'm really happy to see that. Eldegoss. Eldegoss. I think Elde's decent. I think Elde's really good right now. I think it's really good right now. I think Leaf Tornado for getting around the map is really, really solid. Really, really solid. With the bigger map, I really like Eldegoss, and I think that big burst heal from the Unite is really strong. I've never thought Eldegoss is bad. I've always thought it just kind of comes second to some other mons, but I think Eldegoss is quite good, and I'm really, really happy to see speed being really, really important on this map. Plus, you can Leaf Tornado Regieleki. That's something very important. And yeah, I think Eldy's fairly strong Pokemon. Cram. Cram with the blue buff. Have you seen Cram with the blue buff? Cram with the blue buff is like Cram with the pre-nerf black emblems, but like even better. Cram plays around these walls so incredibly. The cool thing about Cramorant right now, I think, is that a skilled Cramorant is very, very scary, but a person who's just picking it up and playing it, not as scary. I put it in the A tier because I think at the top of its... you know what? I don't know where I want to put it, because I think at the top of their game, a couple of these mons go up here, so it's hard to say. So I think your average Cram is going to be around here. I think Cram's definitely decent. The Unite for zoning is solid. It's a good one. I think Cram's just a really good one right now. Blastoise. Now this one is in the middle of the pack as well, and I love how centralized. I said I love how centralized this meta is right now. Obviously it's too early to tell, but people are pushing Regieleki a lot. I'm a bit of a believer on the bot lane Regis. I'm not going to lie to you, but Regieleki pushes are going to be important regardless. And I think that Surf on Blastoise, or even the Rapid Spin build, just the Unite, very, very strong for pushing. Very strong for pushing through the lanes. Very strong for defending goals as well, which is very important in this map. So I think Blastoise is a little better on this map as well. And it's crazy that a lot of mons are better on this map, but you know what mon I don't think is? This one. Now, I'm not going to lie. Pika gets it to Unite up so much. It gets it to Unite up so much. If you're talking like 5s, you can make it work. But I think in solo queue, this might be the hottest take of the video, but I think Pika goes here. I think that having no mobility on this map and not being able to just spam through walls, I think Pika is just not as good. Especially a lot of the threats running around at the moment. I think Pika just does not excel on this map. And that's the way that I've seen it being played and the experience that I've had playing it in solo queue. It's not the greatest solo queue Pokemon. I will say this though, I do think that in the hands of a good Pikachu and a good 5-stack, they will get this thing funneled and it will unite 35 million times a game and it will be very strong. But your average Pikachu, I think, is just not going to be it. This is still not in the game, but on every tier list, which I love to see. A9, I think it's middle of the pack. I think it's better than... See, now I feel bad for Pika. Now I feel weird about this, right? Because are they that different? You know, but I think A9's a little better right now. I just don't think this is Pika's map. I think A9 is a little better than Pika at the moment. I could be completely wrong. Pika could be up here, right? But this is what I personally think at the moment, and I think A9 is a little better than Pika. I think it's middle of the pack. I think it's really good in lane. It has that pressure. So does Pika. But Pika getting poked out, like A9 has that Aurora Veil if it wants to move around, if it wants to sustain a little bit, get some defenses. It also has Blizzard to do really big burst on teams that are pushing goals, and it can really be used in that scenario. So I think A9 is just a little bit better than Pika at the moment. Wiggly. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think rollout is so good on this map. It's still like completely undiscovered, but I have hit some rollouts that are crazy on this map. I've been pinballing around left, right, and center, and it's been a blast. I've been loving Wigglytuff. It's one of my favorite supports to play right now. It feels really good. The double slap buff is noticeable. I feel it when I play Wigglytuff. I feel like it's always up. Because of the reset on rollouts and the reduction in the cooldown naturally now, it just feels a lot better. And I really, really think that Wigglytuff is a really good support to play at the moment. Now, it's overshadowed by something, but it's really good to play at the moment. Slowbro, around the middle of the pack here. It's hurt by its lack of mobility on this bigger map. It does good damage for a tank. It's got some good crowd control for a tank. The Unite is good, but team fights are so spread out now. They're so spread out that Slowbro uniting one person in this bottom left part while everyone's fighting around the other top, it just doesn't feel as impactful as it used to. And I think Slowbro is still really strong. I just don't think it's game breaking, but I think it's there in the middle. The Unite is strong, but it feels nerfed by the map, but not the game, if that makes sense. Machamp. I'm not gonna lie, I want to put this in S. This mon, I'm going to put it here because I'm going to be reasonable, but I think Machamp is so strong right now. It's a self-sufficient Pokemon. A self-sufficient Pokemon is very, very good on this map because you can create so much tempo, and I think Machamp is a mon that can do that. It can create tempo, it can create space, and it can really just burst and blow up enemies. I think Submission is way better on this map for covering space. I think Dynamic Punch, even though it's been nerfed, is still very strong. The Unite in a lot of the chokes and even in the open spaces is just very powerful, very good for pushing goals. Machamp is a threat. It's a threat, and it's scary. Getting your Crush Chop Plus at like 5 minutes into the game, so you can get those like stacks up and get that increased flat attack stat, is insane. I think Machamp right now is very, very strong. Probably the strongest it's ever been. Or launch Machamp was stronger than now. Anyone that remembers that, but I think Machamp is very, very strong right now, and I'm loving to see my boy back where it belongs. This is still broken. This is still broken. I don't care what you say. Yes, they nerfed Soft Boiled and it's still broken. Blissey is still absurd, still unbelievable, broken. It needs to be nerfed differently to what they're doing. Lower its health stat or something, because this is, I'm not even going to talk about it. We know. We know Blissey's broken. We're aware. Memo, see, I got so excited for Memo Swine. I was like, oh, Memo's mechanic slows scoring. That's going to be so good on this map. But it's Memo, right? Like, it's, I mean, you don't get hard stuck. It's just middle of the pack, which isn't a bad thing, right? But it just doesn't stand out. And I think there's not really anything different for Memo other than the fact that you won't get hard stuck as a Piloswine if the game's going a bit rough. It's just not that good. It's just not that good. Slight tweaks to this Pokemon could make it amazing, but right now it's just like, it's just not quite there. And as I said, I could be wrong. This is the first take. I'm probably going to make another tier list in like a week, seeing how it compares to all this stuff, which I think would be pretty cool to see because it's definitely really early right now. Sylveon, you're very strong right now. Sylveon is very strong right now. The power of Sylveon has always been great, but you can split jungle with a Sylveon now and lose nothing from your jungler. Sylveon with the blue buff is absurd. You have Hyper Voice 24/7, and this mon is Sylveon. It's Sylveon. It's very strong, and I think one of the better attackers. Probably the strongest like lane attacker at the moment. I think Sylveon is the strongest lane attacker at the moment, and I think it's very powerful. I think that the I think Hyper Voice is really good right now. Really good right now. Really good, especially shredding those objectives as well and just taking people down. Greedent. I'm loving Greedent right now. I have not lost a game on Greedent, I don't think, this season. And I've actually just been like popping off with this Pokemon. That's like I can't rate it just on how I've had experiences in games, right? So I think to be fair to it, middle of the pack, but Invading got a lot stronger. I want to like tiptoe it up here, but I think here is where it sits for me at the moment. Invading got a lot stronger. And the new, the yellow emblems, maxing them at 7 on Greedent, having like a float stone with the float stone buff. This mon moves around the map and it just zooms. It zooms around the map. And I think Greedent is incredibly strong right now. It's not Machamp, it's not Charizard, it's not, you know, Absol, Lucario, Mime. It's not Mime. But it's really good. It's really good. Having Secure is very good. Having the ability to push around the map to score, very strong. It sits like right here with Crustle. These aren't in an order on this line, but like these two in very similar spots right now. Greedent might be just a little better, you know? The Decidueye. So this is a weird one. I thought on this map with all these walls, the Decidueye was going to be better. It feels like it is and it isn't. It isn't, it isn't. I'll put it in this B tier in the middle of the pack. I thought it was going to shoot up, but I feel like it's just okay. Jungling it is okay. It's just not as good as other junglers. And in lane, you really don't want to in lane in this map. It's just not going to, it's not going to excel. So I think it just sits in the middle of the pack. You can snipe through a lot of walls. It's very safe to do that. But with fights spreading out the amount that they are, you just don't have as much peel. That's why I think Gardevoir as well is a little just less good this map, because not being self-sufficient is a very big deal on this map. Dragonite. This one was here on the last map, and I think it's moved to like middle of the pack. I think Dragonite is strong. It's always going to be strong, but the Hyper Beam nerf feels pretty noticeable. The ability to unite around the map, definitely great. The unite is very strong, but I do believe that it feels a little weaker just based on the fact that you don't, you know what? Because like Zap isn't like a be-all end-all. Like Rayquaza is not Zapdos. You can't just get it and win the game. And the early pressure from this mon isn't as strong. You'll always get Hyper Beam though. It's look, I'm not gonna lie. This could be up here, but I'm gonna put it here for now. I just don't have enough information on it right now. I don't have enough information on any of this right now. But This one I just don't feel confident putting up. Let me know in the comments if you think that it should be higher. Like, I'd love to hear what you guys think about these as well. It's still Serena. Like, it's still Serena. You can jungle and be 6 and then gank a lane. Like, they're cool. Serena's stronger. They nerfed Stomp. It's still 3 shots everyone, and you can do 3 of them. Triple Axel is very strong, as it's always been. I think Serena is great, and probably even better on this map, which is scary. But yeah, Serena is solid. Tree is, I think, better right now. I think this is the best tank. But I think it's the best tank in the game right now. I think that Horn Leech is great for pushing, great for defending. I think that Curse is just great AoE to stop scores. It's just a really good mon. All around, really solid Pokemon. You can play it in either lane. Really, really good mon. I think Tree's solid. Unite is solid, especially paired with things like Charizard, getting that extra damage on those basic attacks. And even the Pain Split set, running that with a Mime, there's some potential there, you know. And I think that that Tree is definitely solid on this map, and I'm loving to see that. Aegislash, dude, I think like I'm moving Dragonite up because I think all the all-rounders just go up here. I think they're all just so good on this map. Any self-sufficient Pokemon that can create pressure and tempo is just so good on this map, and they don't get hard stuck at the early levels anymore. I think all all-rounders are just stronger now. Even Azumarill, I'm gonna do that one now. Azumarill, stronger right now. Buzzwole, stronger right now. I think all the all-rounders, all of them, are very good right now, because if you pair them with a Mime or a Blissey, and they're running down the lane, either linked up or getting healed, or they have the self-sufficiency to score in other lanes and to move around and win those 1v1s. These mons excel at 1v1s, and they can get them on this map if they're split pushing. I think all-rounders are just stronger. This one too. Tita was broken before. Now I think it's just good. Now I think it's just good. I think the H power is still very, very strong, and the mon can just really tear you down. It's great for anti-Rayquaza. The enemy gets a shield, Tita doesn't care. It doesn't care about your shield. It's great for pushing goals with that execute, because you poke the enemy down and Tita just starts stomping. It's a really good mon. It's a really good, really solid. And yeah, Tita, well done balancing that Pokemon. It's still so strong to fight when you're a melee. You just can't deal with it. Ranged characters can kite it pretty well. But yeah, it sieges incredibly well. Hooper. So Hooper was up here, but I think it's down here now. I think Hooper is in the A tier because I don't think it's as good on this map. It's definitely still good. It's Hooper. But the nerf to the base stopping the healing from being as prominent, and the map being shaped a little differently. I don't know if that makes too much sense, but the goals being on a little bit of they're a little further back in places where you'd want them to be. And I just think that Hooper is just not what it was, but it's still great. It's still incredible. The Unite is still amazing. Macro is important on this map. Very important to get places. I would say Hooper is really, really, really good. It's just not what it was. Like, I don't know. I think this money's bad on this map. I think it's bad on this map. The map's bigger. No one cares about your flash cannon. They just walk away. Challenge would probably disagree. He loves this Pokemon. I just think it's worse on this map. I think Duraludon got worse, and it needs a bit of love. That's my take on Duraludon. I just think that no one cares. Everyone just walks away from you and you can't chase them, even like, and that's a weird thing to say from a ranged attacker, that they just walk away from you, but they just don't care. They don't care, or they'll just walk to you and knock you out. It's really just not that strong right now. Espeon, middle of the pack. The Espeon buffs are very good, very good. Anyone who saw Crashy's video recently, we did a triple EV comp in a tournament recently, and Espeon was shining in that game pretty well, holding its own. Psyshock is very strong. Unite, you can Espeon Unite like every 30 seconds or something. It's insane with all the farm, all the little Natus. And yeah, Espeon's solid. Espeon is very solid. All the evolutions are actually quite good. I think this is the weaker of the 3 at the moment. And for that, we're going to the next one. Glaceon. This Pokemon is nuts right now. Glaceon is nuts. Probably the best Pokemon in the entire game. Probably the best Pokemon in the entire game. I put up a video playing it earlier today, so definitely go check that out. I wasn't playing it right, and I was hard stomping everybody. The mon is strong. I think that Icy Wind is so much burst. The crits are so strong, and I don't know if it's okay. I think it needs to be toned down a little. But yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. Play it while you can, I guess. Delphox. Delphox with blue buff is, yeah, up here in the A tier. Really strong mon. Really, really powerful. I think that Delphox is really good. Really good, and in the hands of a good Delphox player, it's I don't play this Pokemon and I still do so much damage with it. A good Delphox player can just, it can kite you eternally and do so much burst. I don't know why Mystical Fire two-shots people when it doesn't have a cooldown. It's a bit strange, but yeah, Delphox is really strong. A lot of mobility. The Unite, again, you can Unite like every 30 seconds. The mon is crazy good. With the blue buff, it's just so strong. The blue buff made a lot of these Pokemon very, very strong. This thing's broken. I don't care what anyone says. I think Mew is nuts. So I don't play this Pokemon properly. I'm very slow to switch because I still just don't have the muscle memory of what to switch to in the right situations. But oh my gosh, is this Pokemon insane. The enhanced attack for 1 is crazy strong. Solar Beam is nuts. Light Screen is nuts. Surf is nuts. Electro Ball is nuts. Agility is nuts. Coaching is nuts. The whole Pokemon is nuts. The Unite, you can stealth your entire team, which is really good because when you come in, they don't know if it's just Mew or if it's everybody. They don't know. And another thing as well is that you're invincible as long as you're not attacking in that Unite move. So if something like a Machamp comes out to Unite me when I'm Mew, I just press that button and he completely just vanishes through me. I take no damage. It's just really strong. I think Mew is very good. The passive is great. The fact that you get movement speed every time you use a move when you're a ranged attacker is crazy. People cannot outrun you if you're Electro Ball chasing them down, and they cannot get you if you're Solar Beaming them from range because you're faster than them. And it's just crazy, crazy, crazy mon. Yeah, this is the list for me for now. I like see everything's pretty centralized. There's a few mons I think are pretty weak on this map. These ones are insane. And yeah, these ones here, pretty centralized, pretty similar. And I'm glad to see that. The game looks really balanced to me right now. It feels really balanced when I play it. I never feel like something is just so absurdly strong. I honestly think I'm going to move this one up. I just can't not move Groudon up. It's just it feels too good right now. Yeah, this is my take on it. Now I'm going to make another tier list in about a week where I'm going to go through my thoughts on these. And we'll compare what I think now to what I think next week, because it's going to be different. It's a whole new map, a whole new year. Things are going to change. So I'm excited to do that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section, what your thoughts are. Obviously, a lot of these might be off, but hey, it's early and I gave it a go. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.